One of the most controversial topics in modern philosophy and religious studies is the concept of determinism. Simply put, it is a theory that considers events in people's daily life, including moral choices, as predetermined by previously existing causes. Many effects relate to the aspects of cause and effect. Human beings commonly yield causes that involve minimal control. Commonly, it is contradicted to free will, whereby human beings are expected to act in accordance with their interests or wants. Determinism can be applied to various disciplines. For example, philosophy or religion. Various religions hold beliefs of determinism in accordance with the teachings of the Bible. Christians refer to various teachings and verses in the Bible that confirm this theory. Determinism, in accordance with religious divinity, is referred to as theological determinism. This presentation will consider various aspects that help understand determinism in relation to the Bible and why it is important for Bible readers to be knowledgeable about it. One of the arguments that supports determinism proves that God is knowledgeable about all future events. Various Bible verses and stories suggest that God knows everything that will happen in the future and the free choice that will be made by human beings. Knowledge of future choices is evident in Gospels. Jesus, who is the Son of God, knew from the beginning that Judas would betray him and Peter would deny him. Hence, in this regard, God is considered as an all-knowing being, and suggestions of not knowing about any future event would prove imperfection, which is inconsistent with the Bible and theological studies. If God knows all future events, they must be determined by him. Theological theories claim that if any future event is known at a certain point, its outcome must be determined at some point before it happens. Moreover, determinism is backed by the aspect of divine providence. God's sovereignty, his consistency, and providence for his creation support further the idea of his perfection. It is understood that God knows all about counterfactual conditions. For example, at some point, David was camping among the Keilah people. He was then informed by a servant of God that Saul knew of his presence and planned to attack him. He then asked if Saul will do so, and if the men of Keilah will surrender him, and God answered yes. David then decided to vacate the place, and Saul did not proceed with the attack when he received news that David had left. Another example is in Paradise Lost. It mentions Eve and Adam. Eve has a dream in which Satan appears and creates Eve's desire to eat from the tree of knowledge. The dream occurs before Raphael comes as the messenger of God, warning that Satan is loose in the garden. Hence, God is aware of all counterfactual situations. God's knowledge and plans for providence are arguably risk-free and fully planned or predetermined. Many theologians argue that such knowledge of counterfactual conditions as well as God's providence and perfections strengthens the idea of determinism. Determinism can be further supported by the fact that God is independent of anything. Theology posits that God is either decisive or decided. This trait means that in conditional future events, God's knowledge is determined by things or by the associated decree of his will, which implies that as much as our choices are based on free will, they depend on him. For instance, we could consider a scenario where God allows two men to overcome temptations by grace. However, he does not predetermine the difference in the outcome of the two men. Assuming God knows this outcome, theology experts argue that this intellect is passive. Despite the fact that he knows what the two men will do, he acts upon such knowledge based on something outside it. The concept of God's independence suggests that he is the sole divine power in the universe, and happenings of the world in terms of future events cannot be dictated by another being other than God himself. It is important for Bible readers to learn about determinism. The theory can help them understand the Bible further and God's will in their lives. Also, there are various Bible verses that tend to portray free will and frequently raise a debate on whether Christianity suggests determinism or free will. Hence, when Bible readers learn about it, they can research further and learn in fact and detail what the Bible suggests in relation to determinism and free will. Several Bible verses support the idea of determinism, and Bible scholars can research further to affirm this belief. Determinism is an extensive topic, and foundational knowledge will help believers research the topic deeper and learn more, thus grow their faith. It is agreeable that God and the Christian Bible tend to deny free will and direct elements of choice. God has predetermined the deeds of individuals, regardless of whether they are conditional or not. There are many theological theories in relation to determinism. Like many matters of religion and philosophy, the theories may portray some strength or weaknesses. As a result, Bible readers should focus on their belief and faith in God in their decision regarding determinism and free will. This approach will help avoid confusion and contradictions of their faith and beliefs.